Okay.
All right. Well, I'm Scott from South Florida Insider, and I'm here with.
Ava, Mataya, Lawrance. Nice to meet you, Scott.
Nice to meet you. Well, watching your performance, and as you said, got all those butterflies out of the way, I guess now.
You know, those first matches are always tough. Most of us don't play too often at 1 o'clock in the afternoon anyway. It's usually 4 or 5 o'clock, or, but I felt really tight in the beginning, and I know that about myself. So you just got to forgive yourself if you miss early, and then my game straightened out after that and played well.
So even though you had a sizable lead, there's a lot more to expect.
Yeah, and sizable lead, I mean, that doesn't mean anything. It's a race to 9. She was ahead 2-1 in the beginning, and I had never played her before, so you don't know what to expect, and that's why you make sure you play the table, not the opponent. So.
How did it change your game? I mean, being down 2-1, did you start playing it a little bit more safe?
No, the other way around, actually. Just try to loosen up a little bit more, because if you start that early to play, like, not to miss, you're done. You have to go back to playing an offensive game, playing the game you know how to play. Obviously, taking care not to make any silly mistakes, but the main thing is that play your game out there. So.
And doing this for that many years, I mean, you know when it is really you need to take those risks, I'm sure.
Absolutely. And I think no matter how long you play, every match has its own makeup. You would think after all these years, all these hundreds or thousands of matches, you would lose the butterflies, you would lose the nerves, you would be thinking clearly, but you really don't. I mean, every match has its own life. So,
how are you able to balance the difference? I mean, as you said, you normally play in the evening, but having an earlier play, I mean, do you have to watch like the hours when you ate before?
You always plan for you find out when you play, and then you always plan accordingly. Everybody has their own system, how long you sleep, when you get up, when you eat. Yeah, I mean, you take that into account. It's just a little easier to get the cobwebs out, at 5 o'clock in the afternoon instead of earlier in the morning.
So what's kind of like a ritual for you before you go to play? Is there like, do you have to eat light? How do you work?
Yeah, I always eat about 3 hours before I play. Make sure I don't eat something that is, tougher to digest. But something that will stay with you through the match. And then about an hour before the match, I'll have like a granola bar or a banana or something to get everything just right, the mixture just right. And, go for a walk, get some exercise, do some stretching. I have my own little pre-shot routine that I do.
So it probably worked out best then that you didn't play at 10 in the morning like some of the others.
Yes, absolutely.
Because trying to balance the 3 hours difference, you probably didn't want to be up that early anyways.
Prefer not to.
So now that you're past the round, what are the expectations going further? You ready for your next opponent?
I am. I'm playing really well. That was a really good, solid match for me. I have been playing well leading up to this event. Actually, leading up to the last 2 or 3 events, and had some great matches, and then fallen short in a couple. So I feel like I'm playing as well now as I have been in a really long time. The question is putting it all together when it counts, when the pressure is on, and performing when you need to, as much as you need to.
And for people wanting to check you out, where you're touring and so forth, where could they look?
StrikingViking.com.
StrikingViking.com.
StrikingViking.com. That's my website. Yeah, that's my nickname. So, my first name's EWA, and when I first started my website, I was going to use that as just ava.com, and that was taken by the European Warfare Association, so that didn't work. So, StrikingViking.com was it.
Sounds good. Well, I appreciate it.
Thanks
a lot.